Okay, so a serger isn't as crazy as it looks. I know it's pretty intimidating to most people because you get like 5 thread options on top and you have to weave it through the machine. But if you are someone who's pretty decent at IKEA furniture instructions, I think you'll be okay. Serger was kind enough to send me this machine, and I've actually been wanting one for a while, so it worked out perfectly. But if you want to follow this tutorial and you don't have a serger, that's completely fine. Just replace all of the serging methods with a zigzag stitch on your regular sewing machine. I think that's about it. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. And then finally, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, click that subscribe button and that notification bell if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys soon. To start, you're going to need an old tank top, a pair of pants, 2 yards of a stretchy knit fabric, some paper to pattern with, and I'm just using gift wrapping paper, pins, scissors, fabric chalk, something to write with, and a measuring tape. First, we are going to measure out the crotch of our pants, and to do this, I like to take one side of the leg and stick it through to the other side, and once you have it all flat, you'll get a better view of the crotch seams. Turn it to the side and then put your pattern paper in there. That way you can trace around that curve, and this will be your cutout for the crotch. Okay, so for the fabric, we want 2 rectangular pieces that are identical, and to get that, the length of that rectangle is going to be the measurement from your waist down to your hem, so basically how long you want the pants to be. And then the width is going to be the measurement of your waist plus the measurement of that crotch piece we just made. Lay the 2 rectangles on top of each other and then line up that crotch piece along the width of the fabric and trace around it with your fabric chalk. Then cut a 1/2 inch on the inside of the line for seam allowance. Make sure you also label which side is the front and back. Next, you want to sew up that crotch seam, and I'm using an overlock stitch on my serger, but again, if you don't have one, you can also use a zigzag stitch on your regular machine. Okay, I know it still looks like a rectangle with a U cut out, but I promise once you open up the front panel and match it to the corners on the back panel, it'll look a lot more like pants. So this next part is optional, but I wanted to add in a waistband, and to do that you are going to take the measurement of the back waistline and the front waistline, and the width of this waistband is going to be 4 inches, so 4 by 23.5 and then 4 by 21.5 for me. Cut out these 2 pieces on your fabric and make sure you also notch the center point. To attach the waistband, you want to fold it in half hot dog style and then line up the center notch with the center seam. Pin it into place with the folded edge towards the hem and then the cut edge along the waistline. Do the same thing for the back side and sew an overlock stitch to connect the pieces. To make it an actual wrapped pants, we are going to need ties to attach the front and back together. For the back side, I'm making these 2 straps out of the fabric. They are about 26 inches long and 4 inches wide. One end is a straight edge and then the other end is a point. That way, when you sew up the long seam and the slanted seam, it gives you a nice finish for the bow. But make sure you also leave that one side open so you can flip it right side out, and then we will attach it to the actual waistband. To add on the strap, grab the open end and then lay it directly on top of the edge of the waistband, and make sure that this is the back panel of the pants. Then fold it over about 1/2 inch, and you want to do a cover stitch from the top of the pants down to the hem. For the front side, I decided to use ribbons instead, just because it was going to be tied across my back and I didn't want it to be too bulky around the butt area. And you're going to sew it the same way you did the other straps, so just attach it to the waistband and do a cover stitch all the way down.
Finally, to finish off the pants, you are going to do a cover stitch along the straight hem. For the top, you want to fold a portion of the fabric in half along the grain line and then lay the folded tank top directly on top of that. Trace around it with your fabric chalk and you can make it as long or short as you want. Once you have the first piece cut out, use it to make the back panel and then stack the two on top of each other. Then use an overlock stitch to sew up the two side seams. Once the sides are done, you want to flip it right side out and then fold down the top portion about an inch and same for the bottom. That way you can do a cover stitch all the way around those two loops.